Hey, yo, peace, peace. Welcome to the rug pull. Hey, this message is for all the Gen Z and millennial Christians out there, okay, or anyone else following some religion or some shit like that, one of these organized religions that happens to be a little bit younger. Listen, y'all, from me to you, all right, listen, you guys, or we, I should say, millennials like myself and Gen Z, I would like to think that our generations are smart enough to know that these religions are some bullshit, okay? And what I mean is, we have technology, we have all of these different resources that people prior to this day and age did not have access to be able to fact check and verify that what it is that they're believing in is facts, okay? Because all too often I see still today younger people following shit that, you know, we've been following for all these goddamn years and not even thinking critically. You know, religion is the only thing on earth that makes smart people, intellectual people for 6 days out the week who are smart, for 1 day out the week choose to repress all of that intellect that they have and subjugate their, you know, fucking knowledge for, you know, religion, okay? Now, me personally, like I said, I think that Gen Z and millennials are a lot smarter than some of the previous generations, only because of the amount of technology that we have, okay? Anybody who has a supercomputer in their hand, which is a cell phone, can Google and research within 5 minutes and see that the story of the most prominent religion on earth, which is Christianity, the story of Christ himself, is a carbon copy of 10 other mythologies that predate the story of Christ by thousands of years, okay? But you also have to do your research on the Romans and see the agenda behind them spread of Christianity throughout the world, okay? We possess the ability to think critically. These older folks, you hear all the time, especially within the black community, when in regards to slavery, it's like we wouldn't have been going through some of that shit. Or motherfuckers be saying shit like, you would have had to kill me, you would have had to take my ass out, okay? Because there's no way in hell I'm finna be going or letting some other person, you know, subjugate me to some bullshit ass treatment, some torture and you know, all that type of shit, you know? No, the people that are Gen Z and millennials, they're not going out like that, you know? No. So being that these people at least have the ability to question authority, it's why is it that, you know, the authority doesn't get questioned on these religious aspect? And I'll tell you why. You know, it's because people are raised by people who, you know, for the most part, they ass never even questioned what they believed in. Because if they did, they might not be believing in the same shit. And people, it's okay to not follow what everybody else is doing. You dig? This is a generation of people who have found some individualism. Yeah, we have a lot of followers and whatnot, but at the same time, I see people in the younger people, you know, have the ability to not conform. And I think that's amazing, okay? And I also believe that because that we don't have the ability to conform and we have the ability to critically think and actually question the authority that's above us, I do think that it's going to be these generations that actually break the code, crack the matrix, and cut out all of these gods that ain't doing nothing for nobody. You know, cut out all these religions that got people giving 10% of their paycheck to a pastor for 52 weeks out the year untaxed, because he can preach a book a certain way that plays on your emotion. See, what they have done is they have everybody scared of going to hell. Hell is non-existent. Hell is the earth that we live in today. So by using fear, and back in the day, it was literally murder, the Catholic Church, the Pope, all of these different papal bulls. Like I said, use critical thinking. Do your research, do your homework on the history of these religions. If your religion was forced on people by murder and torture, that's not a religion that needs to be followed. If your religion was, forced on people that were indigenous and made them convert from their indigenous beliefs all the way to a religion that was a god that didn't look like them and had a whole bunch of different dogma and doctrine that was contrary to that of their natural state. And you have to understand, the Christian Bible basically demonized all practices of indigenous tribes. All the shit you see don't do, everything they was calling divination and witchcraft and all these things like that, all of that was shit that the tribes were doing in the rural areas before the Christians came through and was trying to get these people to convert. This is why when black people look at African religion, the shit that they was doing prior to colonization, they call it witchcraft. Mexicans down be calling some of their shit witchcraft. People think of voodoo. They think of voodoo as witchcraft and all of that. But these are indigenous. This was shit that comes from the motherland, have traces and roots to the motherland. That's another thing. You see the rise of paganism coming back, all right? You see the rise of hoodoo and voodoo practitioners within the black community. Santeria, Palo Mayombe, things that were once revered as the dark and evil side has now began to have another surge, or people are taking interest into things that the Christian church would find very wicked, or that, people in the church would say these people is dealing with witchcraft or some type of demonic shit. You have to free your mind. If a religion was forced on your people, or forced on people in general, everything that they said was bad is probably some shit that you need to be doing. Okay? So you have to understand that black people are the ones that came up with this magical aspect, all right? And the whole spirituality aspect. When you're not honoring the spirit that is in you, but honoring external deities, you are taking the power that is in you away from yourself, okay? And giving that power to an external source that is more than likely non-existent, okay? And that's where they strip people of their actual power. The power has been given to external deities, mainly the churches. The Catholic Church is the main reason why everybody's Catholic in South America, Central America, and Mexico. The main reason why black people are Christians in America. Okay, all of this was forced on people via rape, torture, slavery, murder, of indigenous tribes and indigenous people. So, like I said, Gen Z and millennials need to be the ones that actually figure out that this is some dumb shit, and we ain't finna keep dealing with this shit. We finna deal with the real knowledge and the real truth, that which is natural, that which deals with nature. You dig? So I just wanted to tap in and say, Gen Z and millennials, we are the critical thinkers. Okay, we are the ones that has actually been able to question authority and kind of say, you know what, fuck that shit don't make sense, and I ain't finna be tapping in with some bullshit, So I think the next thing on the list is this whole religious aspect, okay? Because religion, or these biblical books, these mythological texts can be used as good, but you have to understand how to read the damn shits. Most people aren't reading it from an esoteric perspective. They're reading it from an exoteric perspective. You feel me? And the exoteric perspective is the surface level. Like I said, Christianity takes away people's ability to think critically. It takes away their ability to think critically. It takes away their ability to decipher what it is that is fact and fiction. This is the only book that will have literal people thinking that a damn whale ate somebody, like Jonah, the story of Jonah. People actually take this as real life. You know, the story of Christ. People take the story of Christ as real life, real shit. You know, somebody walking on water, somebody feeding 5,000 people with a fish. People take this shit literally as if it really actually happened. Like I said, the religion is the only thing that can suspend actual intellect. Actual intellect, the actual mind gets put behind, you know, it takes a back seat to religion. Because it's like, I bring this type of shit up, you know, logically. You mean to tell me a nigga actually split the Red Sea and the Red Sea spread apart? That's an actual literal story to you? That's a literal story? Yes, people believe this with their whole heart. A man dying and then coming back from the dead. All that is to be taken esoterically. That is dealing with the soul and the spirit of you, not no external deity. Not no, you can't even talk to God. You got to go through a whole nother nigga. What the fuck? Yo, let me talk to my lawyer real quick. Make sure everything is good. You try to go to heaven. They say, if you don't know Jeebus, nigga, you can't get into heaven. He said you got to know his name, or you got to know your name and shit. Like, damn, nigga, so if I don't know the bouncer for you, nigga, man, fuck y'all's club then. The fuck? If you reject Christ, you going to hell. Nigga, what if somebody had actual free thinking logic? And what I mean by that is, what if somebody was able to, okay, for example, we'll use the Jehovah Witnesses, the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons for an example, okay? When these people come to my door, and granted, I have enough knowledge to know that the people knocking on my door are not the people who have any knowledge when it comes to Jehovah Witnesses and or Mormons, okay? These are young people who that church sends out there as foot soldiers to try to gain members, but it's a part of their damn rites of passage, you know? Because I'm like, why don't y'all send people out here that actually know something about the damn Bible? Because it was the Mormons that believed that black people were cursed, you know? If you were Mormon and black, you couldn't even goddamn sit in the front row of the church. They said that you couldn't even go to heaven. They didn't start believing that black people can go to heaven till like the 80s. Okay, and these people go around knocking on niggas' doors trying to get them to join their cult. So the fact that people don't even have no knowledge, well, I know nobody opens the doors for these motherfuckers anyway, but all that shit is just the fact that it's still even out in the open, invisible, just shows that, you know what I'm saying, people are out here lost. Even the young kids, they got the damn internet. The young Jehovah Witness, they got the internet. They can Google the shit. I be giving them all types of shit to Google. They come fucking with me. Because your book don't make sense. And at the end of the day, it was forced on people by slavery and rape and torture. And you murdered people to get people to follow this shit. And what was it? The Romans had 8 damn councils. They had to have 8 separate meetings for the Council of Nicaea in order for these niggas to figure out what it is that they were actually going to be teaching. You dig? They didn't even know what they was going to be teaching in the religion. They didn't even know how they was going to... They had to come up with all these different meetings and figure out what they was going to put in the book that they was going to be using to enslave the whole world. Okay? Africans, you know, white people in Europe, they had their own pagan practices. The Druids, the people worshiping their old gods over there, you know what I'm saying, the pagan shit, dealing with nature, dealing with their their alchemy. You know, we have African indigenous religions. You had the indigenous motherfuckers in Mexico. Everybody had their own indigenous shit going. And they came through and said, all your shit evil, all your shit wicked. Everything y'all got going is some devil shit. And if you don't goddamn convert into this religion here, we're going to burn your ass at the stake. Okay? So it's convert or die. And that's basically, they say the same shit. Nowadays, they just say it very softly. It is believe in Jeebus or you're going to be going to hell. You're damned to hell. You have to accept Christ or your soul is damned to the lake of fire. Well, nigga, I've been swimming in the lake of fire for a minute now, and I'm going to tell you, she ain't even that damn hot. Okay? Niggas is lying about all that shit. They say, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's a play on people's emotions. It's a fear tactic to get people to follow some shit that they ain't never followed before. You know? The Christian church is the only institution still thriving through slavery or from slavery. It's the only shit from the slaves that it was around from slave times that is still in operation. The church. You know? And it's fucked up because a lot of black people do not and will not, they don't possess the mind. The mind has been stripped and has been replaced with Christ. Everything is because of Christ, you know? Everything is given thanks or to an external deity. To worship a God other than yourself is to worship a God inferior than you. Remember that. To worship a God other than yourself is to worship a God that is inferior to you. That is the truth. All right? Ain't no external assistance. Nigga, you are your own savior. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody finna help you through your problems. You gotta help yourself. You know, everybody wanna put all their problems and shit on Jeebus and all of this, that, and the third. Nah. Hell nah. Own your shit. A real human is gonna take accountability for his own actions. The fucked up shit that happens in your life, if it's not some shit that you can't control, the shit was probably a result of your own decisions or your own actions. Own that shit. God damn. You know what I'm saying? People using damn Jeebus as an excuse to just run free and sin and do all this shit or do all the little, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, yo. And then get beat up by their own morality for natural shit. Yeah. Like I said, Gen Z, millennials, use your brain, use critical thinking, question everything, understand that the religions that have been put and placed on people are literally devices of mind control, devices of goddamn, and that's the thing too, you got everybody in the goddamn conspiracy world that be talking about motherfucking mind control, MK Ultra and all this shit, but they be talking about Jeebus in the last book of the Bible and all that shit. Nigga, Jeebus and Christianity, all Islam, all that shit is the ultimate MK Ultra, nigga. That is the damn mind control. They got people believing that they got to get their head beheaded to go be in the, you know, like I said, it's a whole bunch of crazy ass shit, okay? Use your brain, use critical thinking, use your brain, use critical thinking, all right? Wake the hell up. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Like the damn video if you want. Subscribe if you want. I'm out.